Welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Okay, here we are. Episode 326. You know what? If you heard that I messed up, if you caught my little mistake in the me fading up my vocals, you'd be correct, because I was not paying attention to the Zoom H6 recorder over there / audio interface. Sorry, I'm a little drunk. It's oh god, oh, it's Valentine's Day and I'm heartbroken. So I started drinking at it's 2:51 right now. I started drinking 12 hours ago. No. Here we are back at it again. It's been a long day. I woke up. Garmin, my watch. I have a Garmin watch. It's broken, but it did not record my sleep last night for whatever reason. It saw I was in bed at like 9. It was probably like, why is this guy in bed at 9? I usually wake up at 3:30 in the morning. 3:50, excuse me. Technically, the alarm is set for 3:45, but I just let myself lay there until 3:50. Also, I'm wearing the tightest shirt in the world. I forgot how tight the arm. It's only the arms. It's ridiculous. So watch the video. So it didn't record my hours of sleep, which is fine. I don't really care. I work out. As soon as I come back home, I'm not kidding. I drive I drive in, I log into the garage, and I park my car. I put my car in park, lights start going off, and I go, what is going on? I open the door, and it is the fire alarm. I go, crap. So I come inside the apartment. What I don't notice is that usually when I wake up, because again, it's 3:45, 3:50 in the morning. Maverick sleeps in a crate. Nova is free to go wherever she wants, because she's a cat and he's a dog and he's stupid and still young and stupid. So he's locked in his crate, and Nova did not sleep with me last night because I saw her at 3:45 or 3:50 when I was leaving to go to my storage unit. That's literally right there to run, because I have a treadmill in there. I'm revealing so much about myself. I think I've mentioned I have a treadmill. Along with that bike, that indoor bike, I also have a treadmill. But anyway, I come back in, and usually she's by the door meowing, wanting food, because I'm 30 minutes late to feed both of them. I come back in. The bedroom door that I have closed, or not closed, but like barely left open, because I don't want Maverick to see light like come in from the kitchen whenever I'm leaving, because he will wake up and beg for me to give him attention. And the door is like all the way open. Nova, ran into the bedroom. And I'm just like, oh God, it's going to be one of those days. The fire alarm, it has not gone off a lot in my apartment complex. Actually, in fact, there's 2 buildings on the property. It's gone off at the other building more so than it has here. But I've been here 5 years, and when I first got Nova, and it was just me and her, she would, and I had a different couch, she would go under the couch and hide from the fire alarm. And then eventually not like it happened often, but the second and third times, she got used to it. I remember one Christmas. This is like a couple of days before Christmas. I think a lot of people were transplants that live here, but they were almost everybody was gone. And let's pretend it was December 23rd. No one came out. The alarm went off. No one came out. I'm standing outside and it's freezing. And I'm just standing outside with Nova in her carrier. And I'm just like, no one was outside. No one. Which was just mind blowing to me. I'm the only one here. I grab she's frightened. She's sitting in the closet, just frightened. And Maverick's like, usually he's like sitting up waiting for me. He is, if you've ever seen a pit, ever seen a pit mix or a pit bull, he's in that defensive stance where his legs are out, his front legs are out, and he's like, yo, what's up, man? What's going on? So I grab him, and usually when this happens, nobody listens. I'm not kidding. Nobody listens. Nobody's going outside waiting. But it went on the alarm went on for because usually, they're testing the alarm, and then it stops. But this one went on for minutes. I take Maverick downstairs, and I just see people lining up, and I go, oh, well, shit, let me go grab Nova. Run back upstairs. I'm still in my gym clothes. I throw on some pants. I grab Nova, put her in her carrier, and now Maverick is scared. Now they're both scared. I have two scared animals, and now we're outside in the cold, waiting with all these people. We have a dog park on property. Since a lot of people are afraid of pit bulls, I do not allow them. I don't allow, and they run from Maverick. They do. These people, I've seen people run from Maverick or like walk in the middle of the street to get away from him, which is something only other people with pits understand what I am saying at this point, or with big dogs, with dogs who are perceived to be aggressive. Only people with dogs who are perceived to be aggressive would understand exactly what I'm saying, especially if you're a person of color. But there's a lot of people here with their little doodles and their little, dogs that they purchased who are afraid of Maverick. So I did not take him into the dog park, and we just sat outside. Everybody was outside, but we just sat adjacent to it. And he's like whining, and Nova's crying. And I'm just like, guys, I know, I'm so sorry. And we were out there for 40 minutes. It was so cold. I didn't bring any gloves. And then I was still in my sweaty gym clothes, including my sweaty sweatshirt. But we finally came back inside. They ate. And I was able to eat too. Felt bad. It was tough. So that was my morning. I'm getting ready for SNL 50th anniversary concert tonight. I'm excited. I just recorded Late Night Lately, so I did, and it was all about SNL. So if you want to go listen to that, I think you should check it out. Late Night Lately, wherever you get your podcasts. But I did tell this anecdote. Again, I'm very single, not doing anything on this Valentine's Day, and all I was planning on doing was watching the SNL 50th concert that's streaming on Peacock. I have an interview with a television personality tonight at 7:28 p.m. 4 p.m. their time, 4:28 p.m. their time, but 7:28 for me. And I'm not going to say I'm displeased by it. I'm not going to say unhappy. I'm displeased by it because everybody's going to be out doing a little Galentine, as I said on Late Night Lately, Galentines, Palentines, Valentines. I'm going to be at home, just shriveled over this computer and then shriveled over in the couch. Oh, God. But SNL, I'm so excited. I'm happy that, again, go listen to Late Night Lately because I covered it all there and I cannot possibly do it again here. But I watched all the documentaries. The music one's great. If you only have time, it's 2 hours long, 2 hours and 8 minutes long. If you only have time for 8 minutes, watch the first 8 minutes. I'm not kidding. The first 8 minutes will just blow you away. And if you're not hooked by that point, then you don't like music at all. Questlove and Oz Rodriguez, Questlove from The Roots, and Oz Rodriguez, who is a shorts director over at SNL. I can only say shorts because he doesn't direct whole episodes. He directs shorts and sketches within the episode. He's a sketch director over at SNL. They worked up for a year on that opening, on the 8-minute opening, mixing in vocals and performances from decades, from years, from hundreds of performances on SNL, mixing it into a song. And it works, and it's so good. It's go watch it. Just watch that if that's all the time you have in the world. I watched the Beyond SNL documentary, which is fantastic on Peacock. The 4 episodes. And I've been reading everything about Lorne Michaels. I've been reading everything about SNL. I've been reading everything that people have been putting out. I'm excited for Sunday. I'm excited for tonight. Sunday is going to be the 3.5 hour fun time festivities. And you know what? It's going to go to 11:30, and I'll be up to 11:30. I'm just excited. I love SNL. I think it's a great show, and yeah, I'm excited. Okay, let's get on with this. Let's move on. You know, I've been busy this week when two stories don't even have headings to them. They're just put into the Notion page, and I might actually have to do my thing where I get behind the paywall. Get behind the paywall one of these stories. This comes from Bloomberg, written by Mark Gurman. Apple brings TV Plus to Androids in bid to boost subscribers. I don't necessarily think that was the main draw, but that is definitely a big part of it, is that Apple TV Plus needs more subscribers. I believe that they are going to commit less money to television or to making original shows for Apple TV Plus, but they want more people to subscribe. The app just kind of dropped on Wednesday. It was essentially the middle of the day, and then stories started coming out. Hey, this might happen today, and then it just happened like an hour later, which was like I'm happy it happened, but also this is a little bit late. There are people like me who want to subscribe to the platform and watch shows like Severance or Bad Monkey or Mythic Quest or what have you, and movies and things like that, like Wolves. But there was no viable way to do it. I mean, when Apple TV Plus dropped, all I had was my iPad. I didn't even have this Mac. I had my iPad, which I'm very lucky to have. But all I had was my iPad, and this is when I was in the other apartment. This is hundreds of episodes ago. When I was in the other apartment, and I had my own. It was 2-bedroom, and I had an office. It sucked. The apartment sucked. I would rather live where I live now. But the second bedroom was used as my quote unquote office, and it was the only television that. Oh, I had a TV in there. That was my monitor, but it was the only television I had that could be used to hook up USB-C to HDMI, whereas the other one, all 3 HDMI spots were taken by 3 consoles: Nintendo Switch, the Xbox, and PlayStation. I had to specify. And then when I plug in my iPad to that TV, everything would look brown because the TV was not good. It was an old TV, and it was just not good. But all that being said, years later, when I got my new LG, it could AirPlay, so that I could AirPlay Apple TV Plus. And then eventually, when they dropped Apple TV Plus on Google Play for Android TV, then you could just watch it there. But now, also the LG has Apple TV Plus. I forgot about that. But now, finally, after so long, you can finally watch it on your phone. There's no casting, but take it as you can. It's one of the few times Apple has brought its services over to Google Android devices, not including the music app, and I believe the classical music app. I believe it's just an extension of the music app, but yeah, at least I have Apple Music on my phone. Taking this step suggests that Apple is trying to boost the appeal of Apple TV Plus and challenge streaming services like Disney Plus and Netflix. The thing is, they brought Apple TV Plus to Prime Video before they brought it over to Android phones. The biggest install base in the world would be Android phones. If I were launching a streaming service today, I would not gatekeep it to people having certain devices. Like just allowing people who buy one set of things is dumb. You're not going to get that much money. You can also watch the MLS Season Pass. What it's missing is the things that you own on Apple TV regular, not just Apple TV Plus, on Apple TV regular. Like if I open up the Apple TV app on my phone, which is here's boom, it's opening up. I can see that I was last on the search. Oh, because I was looking for things that I owned. But I can see The Gorge is a new movie that's up there. I can see Severance. There's new episodes. I can see my continue watching. I added The Gorge, and there's a new episode of Severance and Mythic Quest and Invasion. Oh yeah, forgot things I added to my phone to that playlist. But you can't. I can't go and do the same things. Like if I open up the TV app on the Mac here, I can access the things that I own. I can go to my library and see that movies that I own on Vudu and Movies Anywhere, they pop up here. Ad Astra, All Star Superman, Arthur Christmas. For some reason, it's in Spanish. Apuracao Presente, Avatar, Avatar Way of Water, Avatar Extended Collector's Edition. The Way of Water Extended Collector's Edition is not on Apple. I can see a bunch of Batman movies. I can see Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. But I can't. And then also I can see things that I own only on iTunes, like Dreamgirls. And what else is only on iTunes? Well, Dreamgirls. Oh, the Transformers movies. Yes, I own every Transformers movie. But then I can't access that on my phone, which is so frustrating, you know? I still think that's a stupid move. But hopefully you'll be able to access your library, or they'll give you access to your library stuff eventually. Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about this story. Let me move that down. That might have to be held back somewhere. Next up, this comes from The Hollywood Reporter, written by Alex Weprin. YouTube surprise. CEO says TV overtakes mobile as primary device for viewing. I mentioned this in the past that the YouTube television app has become ever so popular. In fact, it's outpaced Netflix, and it's outpaced Disney Plus and cable and streaming and all that stuff. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Probably mostly because all of YouTube is free. I can go there and I can say, I want to watch Doug DeMuro. I want to watch IGN reviews. You can watch almost anything. There's episodes of Pokemon on there. There's Warner Brothers just put up a bunch of free movies. You can watch you can watch anything that's on YouTube proper, on YouTube, on television. And again, besides the ads, it's free. And if you pay for YouTube Premium, then you're basically just watching a video from start to finish. So it stands to reason why people are opting to, hey, I'm gonna put on this new Mr. Beast video. Couldn't think of anybody else. He's the biggest YouTuber. I couldn't think of anybody else. I'm going to put on this Mr. Beast video and watch this 20-minute, or Dude Perfect video, and watch this 20-minute video on my TV instead of watching on my phone or my laptop. Although the thing is, I know that for a fact that a lot of people watch things on their laptops and their phones, mostly because when I go, yeah, I'm a TV producer, they go, I don't really watch TV. I don't watch movies. I just watch whatever's on my phone. It's true. That's not even a joke or anything. According to Neil Mohan, YouTube's CEO, TV screens have officially overtaken mobile as the primary device for YouTube viewing in the U.S. He writes in an annual letter from the CEO an indication that YouTube is the new television. They also just allowed people who make YouTube videos. I truly think anybody, just people who have it as their main job. But you can separate your playlists into seasons, your shows into seasons now, without it being categorized as a YouTube premium show or whatever. And last year, YouTube TV app passed 8 million subscribers. YouTube TV, VMVPD. Past 8 million subscribers, and then the company is investing in the platform. That's what they said last year. Now the company unveiled sweeping changes to its TV app experience last year. In a section called YouTube will remain the epicenter of culture. He noted that 45 million Americans watched election-related content on Election Day last year, and he noted the success of videos like no, just he noticed some successes of videos that were politics-based. YouTube's bringing more AI tools to creators, and despite early hype around AI image and video generation products, YouTube is developing them as well. Mohan suggests that YouTube creators are finding simpler, practical tools to be more helpful. It's YouTube is going to be popular. People have been treating it as its own TV show for years, or TV thing for years. And it as much as I hate in the way things are going, because I've steered away a lot from how people treat traditional YouTube in the past couple of years. I think it's my, out of all the stupid social networks, I still think it is the better one. But how have I pivoted away from it? I don't like people bleeping out words. Just say it. Oh, we can't say this word. Just say it. I don't want to trigger anybody. Just say it. All right? And if you can't, then don't. Don't even hint at it. Just be. And then for tech reviewers, I just don't like it when a lot of them are just too showy. Just review the thing. There's too much editing. And I swear to God, if you are somebody who is a food person, if you're cooking food, I don't want to hear you eat it. I don't want to see you eat it. It's disgusting. The moment I see someone eat something, I click out of the video and I say, not interested. Or don't recommend channel. That's a true fact. But I have a good lineup of subscriptions. It's all late night. It's just late night, the new Pokemon TV one, and Doug DeMuro, and some big technology companies, not these small people who go on and make, and also you don't need a 40-minute video game review. Gosh. Let's move on. This next one comes from Deadline, written by Tom Tapp. Female actors finally achieve parity with men as leads in the top grossing films of 2024. It's as if we have we've risen over the peak of what is known as film. Finally, women are getting enough lead roles to make a difference. In the past, and going back as far as 2022 to 2024, women in the top films weren't really leads. But now, it seems they are. According to the latest installment of Dr. Martha Lausen's annual It's a Man's Celluloid World Report, 42% of the 100 top grossing films domestically had female protagonists, while another 42 had male protagonists. Of the remainder, 16% featured ensembles. Now they reference The Substance as one of the movies here, but it's great to see. Even though I'll never see The Substance or Baby Girl, but it's great to see that these movies, there's no people of color in those. It's great to see that women are finally getting, and I hate to say recognition, but they're finally getting the recognition that is quite well earned. Now, given that the percentages are taken from a fairly small sample size of 100 films, small fluctuations alter the number dramatically from year to year. So you'll see that in 2002, as I mentioned, it's 16. In 2019, it was 40. And 2011, it was 11. In 2022, it was 33. But it shows some sort of progress. The percentages of female characters in speaking roles increased only by 2 percentage points from 35 to 37 in 2023 and 2024. And the percentage of major female characters rose a single point from 38 to 39%. I wonder when we're going to get, people often say they want like award shows like the Oscars, like the Emmys, like the Globes to ignore gender when it comes to awards, like, best female supporting actor, best lead male actor, all that stuff. I think, if that happened, I think women would always get railroaded. But there's got to be a better way to do it, There's got to be a better way that's not gendered, but also in a way that it won't be a white guy winning every single year, because that's what would happen if we did that. What was I getting at? I really don't know. I lost my point. But I would like to continue seeing this trend upward. And also, I kind of just want to see movies where it's like typical, that's a boy movie. Like I've heard that 2025 guys, that's a movie for boys. I want to see more action movies with women, where they're not trying to make a point. Where I want to see that Fast and Furious, starring all women. I want to see, while I don't watch superhero movies anymore, I'm more interested in watching the Marvels. More so than I'm interested in watching Captain America. And it's not because I'm not a patriot. I wake up every morning and I salute my flag and I pray to God and I say, "Oh, please make America great again." But I want to see more movies along those lines, because it'll actually, you know what? I should have said Captain America, because there's a man of color in there, but two men of color at least. Captain America and the new Falcon, right? Yes, I believe the new Falcon is the Latino Falcon from the comics. I know comics. I just stopped watching the movies and TV shows. No, I'm watching Gotham. Gotham's great. More women and roles. Gotham's good, man. I really like Gotham because they're not beholden to any universe and they can do whatever they want. They just in the second season, there's a guy named Cameron. I forgot his last name, but he's Cal Vestas in the Star Wars Jedi games, Jedi Survivor and Fallen Jedi Man. I don't know the first one. I tried playing it. It was so boring. The second one, better. In fact, I beat the second one. The first one, I think I got an hour in. But Cal Vestas, I think that's his name. They killed him. He was the Joker. He was straight up the Joker, a version of the Joker. And then they're gonna bring in his twin. Oh, so great! It's so great. It's so silly, and it's not silly like The Flash and Arrow. I watched all of those, and those shows were annoying. Although it would have been cool to. Anyway, never mind. Because Gotham, I would say, is a lot like Smallville. And we saw how Smallville turned out. outside of what's happening. Oh my God. Oof. Colts. Man. But Tom Welling turned out to be a nice guy. I'm vamping right now because I'm legitimately trying to find something that just happened before I sat down for this. Okay, cool. Because it goes along with the story. Now, this comes from The Wrap, written by Josh Dickey. Pentagon removes NBC News, New York Times, other media from offices in new rotation program. New participants are going to include, surprise, surprise, One America News Network, the New York Post, Breitbart, and now HuffPost. This happened last week. the Pentagon's now instituting this not roundtable, but this switching out mechanic in order to get these right-leaning places in. I don't know what HuffPost happened with, but it's I just don't understand it. I don't understand why this is happening. And then at the same time, Trump, our current president, just banned AP indefinitely from the Oval Office and Air Force One because they refused to refer to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. What's frustrating to see is that in the past few weeks, we've seen tech leaders, we've seen tech companies, we've seen media, not media, excuse me, I'm not going to say media because I don't want to be one of those people. We've seen entertainment personalities just, again, I've said this term, I've heard this term multiple times, bend a knee to Trump now that he's in the office again. And these people dare say things are going to be A-okay from now on. But and then stupid things like AP being banned, or the president going, "I'm going to be in charge of the Kennedy Center now because I'm an idiot." At Google, every single speaker in the home just turned on. Okay. Thank you. Changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America on the maps is just it's just so tiring. I can't believe we're at this point. I can't believe. I don't know. I hope the world ends soon. Maybe I should keep that up because I don't know why I exited out of that. But speaking of news, is cable news dying? This comes from Alex Weprin over at The Hollywood Reporter. The final flicker of cable news as we know it. MSNBC is going to be spun out. CNN is restructuring right now for the third time in as many years. And the Murdochs are launching a streamer. But at this point in time, from the outside looking in, it appears as though as cable news is struggling. Take away what's happening at CBS Evening News, the changes there. It's turning more into PBS NewsHour. PBS NewsHour even had its own revamp in the past couple of months. NBC Nightly News is still humming along, and ABC World News Tonight is still going. If we look at cable news, we're seeing what worked 20 years ago is not working now. MSNBC can't be, or excuse me, Fox News is sensationalist. MSNBC can't do genuine sensationalism as Fox News can. CNN is now owned by somebody who is clearly on the right side, on the right, on the right side, not on the right side, on the right. And it's run by somebody who, Mark Thompson. It's owned by David Zaslav. It's run by Mark Thompson, who, yes, brought BBC and the New York Times back from the brink, but BBC was years before the New York Times, and the New York Times is a print and digital focused thing as opposed to what's the outlet, as opposed to what CNN is. And then even more so than that, David Zaslav, Mark Thompson, they say don't have an opinion on CNN. And by that they mean don't talk about Trump. But you have to when you are a 24-hour news outlet. And I know I used to work there. And I know I want to work at Warner Brothers again. Warner Bros. Discovery, and I know that they are hiring in the Atlanta area. And yeah, I know I've applied for about 20 jobs. It's not a joke. I think it's like 15 or 20 jobs that I am qualified for. Oh, baby, don't you better believe that I'm qualified for all those jobs. But they're not going to listen to this. But the problem is when you have a news outlet, when you have something that's supposed to run, let's pretend 18 hours a day from 4 a.m. until midnight, there has to be a little bit of lenience when it comes to how CNN has to operate and the personalities they have. You can't have people going one way or the other, but you also can't have people who have no way to editorialize something. That's what opinion pieces are for. So let's go over this one by one. MSNBC is being spun off. Currently, they're in SpinCo, which is the placeholder name for NBC Universal and Comcast's spinoff company, where they're spinning off CNBC, MSNBC, Bravo, I think. What else do they own? Golf and something else. But they're all being spun off so that it just lessens operating costs for MSNBC. The hair on my beard is just like popping up everywhere. My mustache is going into my nose, and I shaved last night. For CNN, they're restructuring again. When I was there, they were restructuring. Before that, they were restructuring. But now they're trying to focus on doing, I guess, slicker news and mixing up the anchors and everything, and then also relaunching some type of streaming product. Whereas Fox is trying to launch its first streaming product, or its second, technically. I don't know. Fox Nation should be its Fox News streaming product. I don't understand why they're doing this. It's in the same way that I think that Disney Plus should have just been launched on Hulu. It's not hard to understand why cable news business is seemingly on the edge of a precipice, despite the fact that there's more news than ever with the president, who is an avid viewer and has stacked his cabinet with TV veterans. As CEO Mark Thompson told staff January 23rd on CNN, there are, quote, profound and irreversible shifts in the way consumers get their news, and the product needs to reflect that. Those shifts are even more stark when looking at the troubled economics of cable TV. We see that viewership is down across the board, but it has increased on the news. MSNBC viewership increased 57%. Fox News increased by 50% in the past decade, despite the fact that people are still dropping cable proper. They may pick it up in other places, like YouTube TV or Hulu with Live TV or Fubo or Sling, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go back to Spectrum or DirecTV, the rest. CNN's revenue fell from $2.2 billion in 2021 to $1.8 billion in 2023. CNN earned net income of $600 million in 2021 and $400 million in 2023. Finances will be different at MSNBC and Fox, especially at Fox, which has far higher subscriber fees and substantially more viewers. But the overall trend lines are still driven by the fortunes of pay TV, and that pain is being felt everywhere. CNN's decision to cut some 200 jobs in January is just the latest example. And then not only they didn't just like cut jobs, they cut jobs, but they're shifting them to digital. So they're going to rehire 200 people, but mostly digital. So you're not going to see any shift in the pay for people like Anderson Cooper or Wolf Blitzer, but you will probably see more people leave or be pushed out. Wolf Blitzer was moved from his traditional situation room I was going to say Blitzer Report. His show was moved to midday, I believe, 11 o'clock, and I think he's hosting it with Pam Brown, or hosting an hour with Pam Brown. Networks are looking for different ways to do things. If you look at the Golf Network, and I know this is a filler network that is owned by NBC Universal for now, they are airing the five clubs. I believe that's a show. It's a podcast too, so they're airing that. ESPN's been doing their radio shows as TV shows for as long as I can remember. You can also now get those in podcast form. On Max, I can see Kate Baldwin host the 5 things. On Max, I can also see Max exclusive news shows, as well as CNN International, and at different points of the day, traditional CNN. Mark Thompson has prioritized vertical video at CNN because people are on TikTok and Instagram now, scrolling through. MSNBC has a flurry of podcasts, many of them hosted or produced by Maddow. That's very funny. Rachel Maddow. That's very funny. If that's true, that's hilarious. If there's 10 podcasts and she hosts more than 2, I'm going to laugh. Now she's back every single day of the week, I think. 4 days a week? She was at 1, but now she's at 4 or 5 again. She's like, I can't do this anymore. And then she came back. Sources at multiple outlets say that there's interest in inking deals with podcasters and other digital native hosts, either in the form of outright acquisitions or content partnerships. Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway's Pivot podcast, a show I listen to, for example, has been holding talks with multiple media companies, including CNN. I saw on LinkedIn that they were hiring for a video editor. Guess who applied? Guess who won't get it? But as we see cable news switch into like 24-hour coverage, is still somewhat not enough because, especially with this president, you sometimes wake up to news and go, "What the fuck happened?" Like, oh my gosh, how is this competition going to remain the way it is? Is Fox News going to be the everlasting leader? In the same way that Netflix, I hate to relate Fox News to Netflix, but in the same way that Netflix is the streaming leader, will that be the same for Fox News? The racists love watching that network. I mean, they're older, it's an older generation, and they're gonna want to stay with cable no matter what and watch that no matter what. So at this point, CNN and MSNBC are racing for second place. There's a great chart down here that shows ratings. And it doesn't matter if MSNBC has Jen Psaki or Chris Hayes and Rachel Maddow and Alex Wagner. CNN has Allison Cooper. The rest. Look, I watch a lot of CNN, and I worked there. And I worked at an NBC affiliate, so I know a lot of the NBC people. But there's more names at MSNBC than there are at CNN at this point in time. Where can cable news go after this point? Because streaming is not going to be the option. People, I feel as though that bubble has burst. Because if another streaming platform was introduced, I think people are set in their ways at this point in time. We're already feeling the bloated effects of paying for more than one streamer. Where can cable news go? And for all the crap I've been talking about Mark Thompson, yeah, the vertical video is smart because you can produce a bite-sized story on TikTok, push that video out to Instagram Reels and Facebook and the Tweeterverse and Blue Sky. You can put it all on those platforms after that one app, and it will still do probably better than any of your daytime shows. Yeah, I said it. the one. Never mind. I'm not gonna say this. I know I've mentioned it before. There was one person at CNN who was an anchor, was not very nice to me, but she does not know that. She see she does not know that. Her producers were jerks though, and they know. I complained and nothing happened. But anyway, these vertical videos, that's an important step. That's a key step. But also, podcasting, you've gotten into it a little too late. I think the fact would be just continual effort needs to be put in to staying on top of all types of media sources and ways that people can, I hate saying this, consume their media and their news. So even if you're late on podcasting, even if you're late on TikTok, still put that stuff out there and get your hands in all those bills. I don't know. I'm tired, man. I've been talking a lot, working a lot, and working involves my voice right now. I'm a phone sex operator. But there is a way for CNN and MSNBC and Fox to survive and thrive. And it will be multiple tent poles. But just don't put all of your eggs in one basket, because eggs are so expensive right now. So don't put all your eggs in one basket and say streaming is the answer. Because Fox could drop this streaming product, release it, and it could not do it. They could be so confused as to what it is. They could go, what's Fox streaming? Why is it not Fox Nation? In the same way for CNN, when they do this new streaming product, after they've done their new, monthly subscriptions for the CNN.com, people are going to be subscriptioned out. You're too late on that. But you have to have a reason for people to watch. And I'm not just saying exclusive shows. Yes, Peacock has the exclusivity that is the SNL live music show tonight, live concert. And Netflix has WWE now. And Apple has the only way to watch U.S. soccer. But they also have other reasons for people to keep coming back. And if CNN's new streaming product can't do that, and if Fox's new streaming product can't do that, then there's not going to be a point. I will say this about Max. And I'm not somebody who does this, but they do have some of the podcasts on Max in like visual form. And by that, I mean like, I think there's a Batman podcast or something along those lines. And I think there's a Flash podcast from the TV show. Is that true? I'm not even going to triple check, but I know there's a Batman podcast. Or Kara Swisher actually did host a Succession podcast, but they had like visuals that you could play while listening to that on Max. Like it would be the podcast episode, but it would be on Max. If that's your bag, I don't know. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to your favorite famous people. If you want to see a video version of that, head to youtube.com/cpluscomedy. I told you I have an interview tonight. I just did an interview nigh upon an hour and a half ago. So I've got interviews for days. I just put out interviews with the Night Court cast. So check that out. If you want to listen to, if you want to watch a video version of the show, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy. You can see a video version of Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs podcast. You can subscribe to those wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky at @cpluscomedy, me at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.